We might not be heading to Vegas, but it is AEW's second pay-per-view of the year, Double or Nothing. Is there going to be the final countdown playing at the main event? Will we have new tag team titles? And who is the Joker in the Casino Battle Royal? Welcome to our Double or Nothing predictions, and we are starting now. There are 10 huge matches set for this pay-per-view. I'm very excited. A lot of these matches have really good build, unlike another company, but let's get right into it. So with our pre-show, we have Serena Deeb versus Riho for the NWA Women's Championship, and this is a really good match. Obviously, we haven't seen Riho on AEW TV since the Women's Tournament, way back in January, February. There are also rumors that Riho is actually going to be done with AEW after this, so if that is the case, that's going to be really upsetting. But I'm going to go with Serena Deeb here. I think it doesn't make sense to give the NWA title to somebody who isn't really involved with NWA. I could totally see Thunder Rosa or possibly Camille Brickhouse coming out and maybe doing a stare down with Serena after this match. But this is a great way to start the pay-per-view, even though it's not the pre-show. This should be a good match, but Serena Deeb for the win. So we're going to go based on how I have it on my notes, so we're actually going to go with the main event first. Or, I don't think this should be the main event. I honestly think it should be the Stadium Stampede, because I just feel like there's more there. But for our AEW World Heavyweight Championship, we have Kenny Omega versus Orange Cassidy versus Pac. Now, I am quite interested that Orange Cassidy's in this match, just because I feel like when you think of like World Heavyweight Champions in AEW, Orange Cassidy just doesn't come to your mind. This should be a good match. I just feel like the build really hasn't been there. I mean, they only started building this match 3 weeks ago, and it looks like they're way more focused on Orange Cassidy and Kenny than Pac in this match at all. I mean, the only interaction they've had was when they set up the triple threat match, and then the promo Pac cut last week, and even on tomorrow's Dynamite, it's really only seen that Orange Cassidy's gonna be like, yeah, I'm not like exiting this match, this is my opportunity to win. So I definitely think something big's gonna happen at the end, whether Daniel Bryan does come out and the final countdown is gonna play, or possibly if you watched BTE this past week, you saw that the Dark Order was all drawing pictures, and Adam Page drew this horse, and he was wearing like rose gear with like tassels on the bottom, and the Dark Order was coming out with him. So that could possibly happen at the end of the pay-per-view too, to be like, you know, I'm coming. Because I'm assuming Adam Page and Kenny is going to happen at All Out. But obviously I'm going to go with Kenny Omega here. He's super hot right now in all of wrestling, whether it be AAA, Impact, AEW. So I don't see him losing. This should be a good match, but the build just really isn't there, which is why to me it shouldn't be the main event, but I don't write AEW. Next, for the AEW Women's Championship, we have Akira Shida versus Britt Baker, and of course it is the 1-year anniversary of Shida actually getting her AEW Women's Championship, but it's the summer of the Doctor, DMD. I'm going with Britt Baker here. It is 100% the time to put the title on her. She has literally killed it during the pandemic era of AEW. The heel turn was probably the best thing that happened to her, and there's no question about it. Britt Baker should win. Like, that's it. If Britt Baker doesn't win, what is AEW doing? Now, obviously, there's a lot of speculation because we have seen Tessa Blanchard training with some AEW wrestlers. Is Tessa going to show up here? That's kind of my prediction to go into the Casino Battle Royal, but I could totally see Tessa and Britt staring off at the end of this. But Britt Baker, Doctor's going to win. If you don't like it, too bad. Then, in the America versus UK match, we have Anthony Ogogo versus the American Dream for one night only, Cody Rhodes. This match is interesting just because, you know, this is Anthony's really first real match, because I'm not going to consider the other ones because they were like 2-minute squash matches. And, you know, Cody is being the American Dream for one night only. But I don't see Cody winning just because I feel like they really want to push Ogogo, and they really want him to be kind of the he's going to overturn QT and be the leader of the factory when it gets to that point. So I'm going to go with Anthony Ogogo. This is actually my sleeper match for the pay-per-view. I feel like that this is going to be better than what I expected to be. I'm not the biggest fan of wrestlers who have a boxing background, so I'm not completely sold on Anthony Ogogo yet, but hopefully this pay-per-view proves to me that he is the future of this business. So Anthony Ogogo for the win with a knockout punch. So I don't think that Cody's going to be pinned or submitted. I think he's actually going to be knocked out by Anthony. And there will be blood. That is without question. There will be blood. And speaking of the Casino Battle Royal, obviously this always happens, whether it be like a ladder match or a Battle Royal. So obviously the biggest question is who's the Joker. As we've seen in the past, it's been Adam Page, it's been Brian Cage, Ethan Page. They just have a thing with Page and Cages apparently. So I have a lot of guesses for the Joker. Obviously Daniel Bryan is my number one. With the rumors that he is re-signed with WWE though, I kind of don't believe that, but I think it would be so cool as a one-off. Also Nick Gage has been heavily rumored just because Jon Moxley has shown up on GCW the past couple months, so that's been a rumor. I could totally see Tessa Blanchard being the Joker. I could totally see it. I know that's such a wild card, fitting wild card. That is such a wild card prediction, but I could definitely see Tessa Blanchard or Daga, especially if Tessa is going to come out in possibly the women's match. If Daga does come out in the Casino Battle Royal, that would also make sense because they're husband and wife. But none of my Jokers are my prediction for the winner, though. I'm going to go with Penta. I think they are really trying to push Penta right now, so I think he makes perfect sense to win. I think him versus Kenny for the... I mean, we've seen him versus Kenny before, but I feel like, you know, I don't mind seeing that match again because it was really, really good. So 100%, I definitely see Penta winning. I know people are going to be like, oh, no, that's not going to happen, but Penta's my pick. Next, we have, like I said, Battle of the Rhyming Names. Adam Page versus Brian Cage. This match I'm really not looking forward to. I just feel like the build really isn't there. In the past couple pay-per-views that Adam Page has actually wrestled, I feel like I have not really been looking forward to his matches. Nothing on him. It's just the people he's put against. I'm going with Adam here because, like I said in the beginning, I definitely see that him versus Kenny is going to be the match at All Out. And this is the climb for him to get back to that number one ranking. I could definitely see the Dark Order getting involved, Team Taz getting involved, so I'm going with Adam to get the huge win. And then if Brian's not going to come out and confront Kenny, Adam Page is. On a horse. You heard it here first. He's coming out on his horse. This picture means something. Watch BTE. They hint things all the time. That's why it's important to watch the YouTube show. Next, for the TNT Championship, we have Miro versus Lance Archer. This should be a really good match, too. I feel like these are two people that you could definitely see as the face of the TNT Championship, like the mid-card. You can see the faces of the mid-card. But I don't see Lance winning. I definitely see Miro continuing his reign because this is the Miro we've been wanting to see for so long since he signed with AEW, or even back when he was in WWE. We've wanted to see this dominant side of him, and now we're finally getting it. If you take the title off him, that kind of ruins all the momentum. So this match, I don't see going long either. I kind of see it being like maybe 5 to 10 minutes, and Miro just dominating the entire time. I mean, that might ruin Lance a little bit, but I can definitely see if Jake is going to be at ringside, Jake screwing Lance, and then that's how you break up that pairing. Because Jake, I don't think, needs Lance anymore. I think Lance can pretty much go on his own. So, Miro, dominant win, and just continue to destroy the mid-card division in AEW. And in our second ever Stadium Stampede match, we have the Pinnacle versus the Inner Circle. And if the Inner Circle loses, they must disband. This is hard for me because I just think that the heels shouldn't over-dominate the heels shouldn't really over-dominate a feud, in my opinion, and just go 2-0. But then I also feel like if the Inner Circle wins, not only is it 50-50 booking, but what do you really do with the Inner Circle here, or what do you do with the Pinnacle? So I'm going to go with the Pinnacle. I think it's time for the Inner Circle to break up. I think Sammy should be the one to take the TNT title off Miro. I think the Proud and Powerful, Santana Ortiz, versus the Young Bucks is definitely something I'd want to see it all out as well. So I 100% think it is a smart decision. Jericho recently just announced his tour for Fozzy anyway, so Jericho's going to go away for a bit. But if you're an Inner Circle fan, I'm very sorry to say that they're most likely going to lose. But this should be good. I enjoyed Stadium Stampede last year, so I'm excited to see what they are going to do. A lot of people have said that this isn't going to be so jokesy and whatever. It's going to be more serious, so very intrigued, especially because part of this is going to be live. It's not all going to be taped, so intrigued to see what creative stuff they're going to come up with this year. And in kind of a shocker tag team match, we have Sting's first match in 6 years, like real match since his whole incident with Rollins. So it's going to be Sting and Darby Allin versus Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. Now, part of me thinks it does make sense for Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky to win, but I just feel like, looking at everything, I feel like this pay-per-view is very heel dominated. The faces have to win at some point, so I'm going to go with Sting and Darby. I don't think Sting would necessarily lose his first real match back. So I'm going to go with Sting and Darby. Obviously, this is going to be a huge showcasing for all four of them. I mean, not really Sting, but mostly like Scorpio and Ethan. I think Sting's going to have no problem putting them all over. So I'm going to go with Sting and Darby. This match doesn't have to be long either. This match could also be super short. But again, I don't rate AEW. And for the AEW World Tag Team Championships, it's our final match. I put it last because it's the hardest one for me to pick. The Young Bucks versus Jon Moxley and Lee Kingston. I'm a huge fan of this pairing. I think that this was probably the best way they could have went after the botch of Revolution at the end. And there's just so much of me that wants Moxley and Kingston to win, but part of me does not think they're putting the tag titles on them because Moxley is going to be leaving in a couple weeks because of course Renee is due with the baby. So I'm going to go with the Young... See, but I feel like if I go with the Young Bucks, then they're... I'm gonna go with the Young Bucks. This should be the match of the night for me. I think all four of these competitors are very good wrestlers, as we've seen. They've pretty much carried AEW at all points throughout their year and a half in the company, or the year and a half that the company has existed. So I'm gonna go with the Young Bucks. This should open the show. I think this match should be a very good starter pace, and I feel like AEW also always starts with tag team wrestling anyway. So don't start with Sting. Start with this tag team match. It's just gonna be a lot better. But the Young Bucks. Maybe the Good Brothers will be out there. Don Callis will be out there. I don't really know. But yeah, the Young Bucks